Hey guys, let's jump right into the help video for quiz 5.02. Alright, here's your need to know info. There's really not much to know here. The first thing is you need to know what a cross section is. So if you take any three-dimensional shape and you slice it, so here they have this knife cutting it, it's going to create a two-dimensional cross section. In this case, they took the cylinder, they sliced it parallel to the base, and the two-dimensional cross-section is a circle. We're going to look at what a lot of different cross-section looks like, but you just need to know that it's a three-dimensional shape where you slice it, and then it creates a two-dimensional shape. You also need to have your formula sheet because you need to remember perimeter and area formulas to be successful in this quiz. So that's about it. Let's jump into this first example. A rectangular pyramid is sliced so the cross-section is parallel to its base. What is the shape of the cross-section? Okay, they're not going to give you the picture, but I wanted you to be able to visualize what's happening here. So I went ahead and put a picture in here. We have a rectangular pyramid, and we're slicing it parallel to the base. So it's going to be the same shape as the base, and in this case, that is a rectangle. So let's go to the next question. A cone is sliced so that the cross-section is perpendicular to its base and passes through its vertex. What is the shape of the cross-section? So again, I wanted to give you a little bit of a visual. Here I have two cones, and it just depends on how you slice them. This red slice is parallel to the base, so it creates a circle. If you slice it diagonally, it'll make an ellipse. This makes a parabola, this makes a hyperbola, which you don't really need to know any of those. But if you slice it perpendicular to the base, which means it forms a 90-degree angle with the base, then that is going to actually make a triangle. So again, some of these might be hard for you to visualize, but you just kind of have to, you can sketch it, or you can think of it in your mind, or you can even Google images to try to figure out what that's going to look like. Oops, went too far. All right, what is the area of the cross-section that is parallel to face BFGC? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight BFGC. So that's this side of the box here. If we slice it so that it's parallel to this side of the box, it's going to be the same shape as this side of the box. So we're trying to find the area of this yellow rectangle. All right, we know that this length is 36. And we also know, since it's a rectangular prism, if AD is 6, we can say that BC is also 6. So if we want to find the area, we would do base times height, which in this case would be 36 times 6. And that equals 216. And area is always our units squared. All right, what is the area of the two-dimensional cross-section that is parallel to face ABC? So again, I'm going to start off by tracing out ABC. Notice this shape is a right triangle. If I slice a cross-section parallel to that, it's also going to be the same right triangle. So I need to find the area of this yellow right triangle. And again, all these area formulas are on your formula sheet, so you can check those out if you forgot them. This one's pretty fun because its area equals 1/2 base times height. And a lot of people are just going to want to throw 7 and 25 into the formula. But 25 and 7 can't be a base and a height because they don't meet at a 90-degree angle. Remember, your height must be perpendicular to your base. So 7 can certainly be our height, but it's perpendicular to this length. So this length has to be our base. 25 cannot be the base. All right, so to find the base, you could, if you really wanted to use a lot of math, you could use Pythagorean theorem, because anytime you have two sides of a right triangle, you can find the missing side. Or you can look at the figure. If you look down here at the bottom, we know EF is 24, which means we also know that BC has to be 24. So when we go to find our area formula, we need 1/2 times the base, which is 24, times the height, which is 7. So half of 24 is 12, and 12 times 7 is 84. So our area is going to be 84 units squared. And then this rectangular prism is intersected by a plane that contains the points D, E, K, L. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. D to E to K to L. Okay, so this might be hard for some of you to visualize, which is why I put another picture down at the bottom. But this plane is actually cutting it diagonally. It's cutting it from the top back of the box to the bottom front of the box. I don't know. I know for some people it's super hard to see in 3 dimensions. But this plane, I kind of put this down here to try to give you an idea of what's happening. We're starting at the top back of the box and we're slicing it to the front bottom. So top back to front bottom. Okay? And we want to find the perimeter of this yellow figure. So we know this side length is 12, which means this side length is also 12. What we don't know is this diagonal length right here. But we do have a right triangle over here. And since we have a right triangle, we can figure out that diagonal length. Anytime you have a right triangle, if you know 2 sides, you can figure out the missing side using Pythagorean theorem. So we're going to do that. We're going to use Pythagorean theorem. So I'm looking for the hypotenuse, the side across from the 90-degree angle. So I can just plug in 4 and 5 for A and B. And then multiply it out. And so I get 41 equals c squared. And to solve for c, you've got to get rid of squared. And the opposite of squaring is square rooting. So we would square root both sides. And that's not going to be super pretty. So let's see. That's approximately, well, let me write down the exact answer. But then it says round your final answer to the nearest tenth. So let me write down what it approximately is. 6.40312, blah, 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 blah. If I want to round to the nearest tenth, 10 has 1 0. So I want to go 1 decimal place. And I look at the number behind it. And that 0 makes the 4 stay the same. So this length here is approximately 6.4 meters. Now don't put that in as your answer because we're trying to find the perimeter of the yellow shape. So that's not going to be our answer. That's just the diagonal length. So now if you want to find the perimeter, you can add up all your sides. So we could say 12 plus 12 plus 6.4 plus 6.4. So let's see. I got 36.8. And that's perimeter, so that's just the regular old units. That's not units squared or units cubed. It's just units. All right, guys, good luck on your quiz. Hope you ace it.